everyone! Long time no see. As some of you know, I missed this last Saturday with my weekly videos. I was sick. No, not with COVID. My body just doesn't like the changing seasons, and fall especially just got me in a funk. But I'm feeling much better now. I'm trying to take it easy. That is why you haven't heard from me lately. The good news is, because I was sick, I was doing a little more sitting around than normal, and I did get quite a few of the books done that I had planned for October, or Spooktober, as we're calling it. I did indeed finish the last two books in the Percy Jackson series, which is The Battle of the Labyrinth and The Last Olympian. These were so good. I'm still gonna say that The Titan's Curse was my favorite in the series, but these were super action-packed and super exciting as well. I had tons of fun. Cannot wait to read some more of Percy Jackson's story. But those are the first two books that I read in October. I read those in like 2 days. It was so much fun. I then gave myself a little break from fantasy and read The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight. I've had this book forever and I never got around to reading it, and it's a contemporary, and I have to be in a certain mood for contemporaries, but I was definitely in the mood for this, and this was tons of fun. I swear though, the guy in this was basically Harry Styles. And maybe I'm biased because I love him, but it felt very Harry Styles-ish. Not quite as obvious as After, where it was originally a Harry Styles fan fiction, but it still felt like him. I just realized that because I'm showing you this view of my office, you can see all the canvases I have piled back there from my art obsession. Please ignore that. Just look at the books. It's less messy. After I read that contemporary, I was ready to get into more action-packed, crazy stuff. I read Eeny Meeny by MJ Aldridge. Why can I never say that? Eeny Meeny was beyond my expectations. I hadn't really heard this book. It was more popular in the UK, and I didn't know how much I would like the writing style or anything, especially because mystery thriller, it's less character-driven, emotional type stuff and more just action, which is fine, but not usually my genre. But this was incredible. It had the character development, it had the really thought out, well-paced story, and yet it still had that crazy, just like everything was happening a million miles an hour. Every chapter was only 2 or 3 pages long, which is so weird. So there were 114 chapters in this thing, but it felt right because of how the scenes were laid out. And yet, even though it was going so fast, I still felt like I grew to really understand the main character, and it was several main characters really, and all of their thoughts and emotions and what was going on in their lives that was making them the way they were. The only thing I would complain about in this book is that the ending felt like it didn't wrap up some things that I wanted it to wrap up. But I'll make a book talk or something to talk about that. That's not important right now. I then finished off the month with Stephen King's On Writing. I've read this before, I think I mentioned that. I read it in one of my creative writing classes. But I didn't realize that in the creative writing class, she only assigned the second half of the book, which is the part that actually is on writing, which is right here. This whole front half of the book, I didn't even realize that I'd like it, but I read it this time around. It's sort of on Stephen King's life and all of his most significant memories and what kind of shaped him into a writer. It was really beautiful. I didn't know that he could write like this. I mean, I haven't read any of his horror books, but from what I know, they're pretty intense and crazy. This was very sort of thoughtful, insightful type of stuff. And then the on writing part is, of course, like some really great tips on how his writing process goes and how your writing process could go. And it kind of got me re-inspired to continue writing some of the stories that have been just sitting on my laptop for who knows how long. Since the creative writing class, probably. I worked on them a lot when I was in that headspace, but I haven't really been in that headspace lately because I've been, in a million miles an hour business school. And now, for the past few months, just been working a lot and haven't really felt that creative energy that strongly lately. But this got me back into it. That is all the books that I read in October. So I didn't finish my Sbooktober goals necessarily. I got very close. I read the 5 that I definitely knew I wanted to read, but I didn't start the other Percy Jackson series, The Heroes of Olympus. Really wanting to start that this month. In fact, I think I'm going to finish it this month. My excuse for not having finished Heroes of Olympus or even started Heroes of Olympus is because I was still waiting for some of them in the mail. However, I have them now. All of them. And this one on top is actually the Red Pyramid. It's a different series, but I'm going to read it anyways. But I now have all 5 of the Heroes of Olympus, which are much thicker books than the original Percy Jackson series. But the plan for November is to read all 6 of these books, because just taking a few books off of Percy Jackson, I've been like sad that I haven't heard from Percy Jackson. He's just such a great character to read. I think they're going to be fast reads because the original series was, but they are longer. So I feel like this is probably going to take me the whole month. I also want to try to fit in Life and Death by Stephanie Meyer. It came out in 2015. I thought I wouldn't like it. I saw Christine's reaction of it, and now I think that I might like it. I'm going to do a book talk on it as well. But those are my plans for November. Once again, sorry I couldn't be here last week. I was very, very sick in bed for several days. I honestly didn't get anything done, but I'm feeling better this week and I'm fired up to get started on my book goals, my writing goals, my work goals, all the creativity. It's flowing now. I think honestly I needed that rest. Maybe it was my body telling me that I needed that rest. That is all I have to say for today. Thank you guys for watching. I will be doing some book talks soon. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye! But yeah, that is all I... You can hear Kenneth in the background again.